Hello and welcome. Oh, I can't see me recording for some reason. It's not allowing me to swap. Yeah, I can see it. It's all right. Fantastic. Right, we are in business. I've already set the course going. We're gonna set this. Oh, I know why. It's all right. My keyboard gets caught sometimes. You need to like catch your keyboard on this, and that's why nothing actually works. Right. So first waypoint. Let's get this cracking. I am gonna go straight into a time lapse because this is gonna be another massive. Why are you putting your pipe out? Now this is actually a completed reblended one, but I'm not very happy with the magnification on the thing, but it shouldn't get, it shouldn't get mucky quickly now, or any more quicker than anything else. So I'm waiting with bated breath to see what reblendering this has actually done. And also I've done the fill plane and everything. I've boxed off things that you shouldn't see, so I'm really hoping to see what this actually, the augmented one actually looks like. I might round the corners eventually, but for now I'm happy with it as it is. Right, anyway, time lapse time. I'm going to see you guys gals on the other side. Right, there we are done. Yes. But that did take a long time. Uh, we seem to have lost some maize. I have been tweaking those, so it may be me, but yeah, I've also been tweaking with this. I did exactly what I said. This is what I spent most of my day, because this mod is obviously due back in the mod for like giants to look over again and say yes or no, or that type of stuff, and they give me a long list. It's been reblended, but still not happy with the yeah, now I've literally put that on, and literally when you drop it, now I think I'm happy every single point that I've done. I might need to reblend the bar, and yeah, I'm hitting the collision on that, but yeah, that's I think that's the original collision, which I can get rid of now. Yeah, I obviously had that for stability, and it didn't work out quite too well. So I've got my bar that fits nicely in the 3-point link. The 3-point link is where it never has been before. I've got a new disc. It's all silver and chrome. And the cone is spot on too. I think there's, if anything, all I've got is the fill plane is a little bit different. And what are they? Ooh, okay. Now they are part of the... They're the thing that actually make that work. But I thought I'd hidden them, so I need to hide them. Yeah, there's a lot of little tiny tricks in animations that obviously that are part of the original animation. They actually fit, but like with something like this, you're grabbing something from another mod. This was the Fence GTA pack, and obviously that has a tank, and they're connected to the tank. Well, that's all right, but I am I've got to adapt this. Now, there's another thing, and it's the ladder, and that's hidden here. You can't see that, so I need to do the same on that one. But apart from that, I'm quite happy with that. Obviously on the Fendt GT, it just has this red. It's part of the thing. It doesn't have those bars. I've added the bars so that it looks, you know, realistic. I might also colour them. Ooh, keep hitting things. Yeah, my life. Yeah, I need to like... But yeah, in every other way, it's okay. Yeah, that'll be the collisions. I've got to check the collisions. But apart from that, it will no longer like do its weird rolling over and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Once I've got rid of those, so this is going to go straight back in for Giants to have a look at, because everything's blended. They may tell me off about the bar though, so I'll put it back in and I'll see what I get back. But I'm quite pleased in comparison to what it was like. And I've never known another fertilizer spreader, but then again, this is so much bigger than the original Razek. So every single point that was wrong on the Razek, yeah, is obviously corrected on this. The pole, obviously it's a much bigger dish, which is now, what, a single dish. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Apologies for this suddenly turning into I do get excited, I must admit, yeah. Right, yeah, so we've lost some maize, but we haven't lost it. I'll go back into the backup save, and Ash will make sure that's back in, because we all know I'd sort of always deliberately try and highlight how well we did. But how well did we actually do with the rice this time? Because we obviously fertilized this. Oh, wow. With the 2 sets, 151,000 litres of long grain rice. That is going to be... I know I'm very pleased we've got the super whiskey factory. That is really going to do very, very well on... Yeah, I've got to make sure as well I've actually got my cycles right. This looks like epoxy. This looks like the base one. Yeah, my cycles look like exactly the same as I would have seen them. 96 times 100. I might be wrong. Yeah, I'll have a look after this. I'm sure I did it right, but I'll do double, triple check. Tidied that little bit of a field up. Done this again. So I think now we do need to get this ready for next year. This is staying clean, so it did do the trick. Me adding that to the dirt level. I'm just not happy with the... It's gone very, very big. There's one thing I couldn't find out how to do. I was shown how to do it by FS Landscaping, but I couldn't for the life of me find how to do it. Oh, there's a bit more in there as well. Yeah, you've got to like project it to make the graphics, they look so blown out. That's because I just couldn't do that one thing. But even for just the fact that they're nice and clean without being mucky. Fill play needs adjusting a little bit. It was bleeding out at the front and that, which I highlighted, which I'm sure you will have all seen me like focus in on that a little bit. So I need to just tidy up a little tiny couple of things, and then this too will be ready. Apart from obviously the graphics, I'm going to change again. I will go into Blender and I'll re-pull them in at some other time. But for now, this will do, because it was just looking so terrible on all of the Let's Plays that it was a part of. It's just my indicator working. Yeah, it is. That's alright. So I had a bit of difficulty earlier with it, so yeah. So cracking along, monster session. So we're in May. I'm trying to get my head around this. I can never. So really, this is March. Yeah, this is, yeah, of course, this would be when we were planting. So we've missed planting barley, haven't we? For doing the barley side of this, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, we've not got a planter seed or anything. We've got a lot to go on with the sake, and an awful lot to go on also with the corn. Even though we seem to have misplaced some of it, an awful lot of it for that matter. Yeah. So that's just. Oh. Let's just fold that away. Yeah. What? It's weird with that, the folding on that. It's sort of one of them pointless type of things because it doesn't do anything. It's there's no proper roof. It just does make me laugh a little. I suppose I could do something about that. I could put a little, because it's a moving part, I could put extensions on that and they could literally close that. It's got to be better than an open hole, although I don't know. Yeah, it's got that the thing in the middle that pushes the grain in. I'd have to be very careful now I did that. Yeah, it'd be difficult to do. I could do the 2 outer ones, but yeah, the others I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going into mod mode again. Yes, I've tweaked a few things. You won't see it till next time. Yeah, some things that were annoying me with the production silos. Tried to rename. He does not like the word grass. It really doesn't. Yeah, so within this production silos, I've renamed things like dry grass windrow. It'll say hay next time, and things like forage will say TMR, and grass windrow will say grass. And yeah, I didn't realise I've actually got hay twice. It might not show. Oh, no, it has. Dry grass windrow is hay, which we've got there. There's only an editing when I was going through this thing. So that'll say TMR, that'll say grass, that'll say hay, because that one's left. Liquid manure will say slurry. I've just tidied things up so things say what they should be. I've called maize corn because that's what we all know maize as. That's corn. So again, all these type of things, I've just gone through and sort of done all that. So yeah, and this is what I was saying about the silver poles. The dirt, and you see that's what you get when you like do what I did. There's no dirt layer, it doesn't know how to handle it, so it just makes it filthy. I know all we did was like unload and load it, and it's just gone dirty, and almost straight away it goes mucky. We've not even done anything other than just move it. Oh no, it's this one. But it is still the same. Obviously, all models, obviously how long this was used affects how dirty it is. This is the one we have been using. This was the one we've never used, that was always just left around here. So this has done no work at all, which means the silver will be silver. But as soon as you start working with this, with the poles that aren't gone into Blender, that haven't got a dirt layer. So, do you really want to know this? Yeah, I'm doing that thing when I'm a bit tired and I just like blurt out and like tell you everything. And yeah, it's you really don't want to know unless you was going into modding, really. So yeah. That's where we're going to leave it. We are, I mean, yeah, we're doing well. I've got to be honest, but we have, again, I keep saying this, on any Let's Play where you have to put a lot of work in, you get the results, the scales will balance. What I mean by that is what effort you put on one side of the scale is commensurate to the gain you get out the other side. It doesn't always work out as you think it would, but the scales will always balance. The principle of justice, the principle of weights and measures, all of those type of things, it's very, very true. It's a universal truth. So yeah, we've put a lot of effort in. Let's keep it simple. Yeah, we've put a lot of effort in. We've got a lot of product because of that, and because this is a super and we've also spent a lot on expensive productions, they will really, you know, do us proud. I also need to make that door a little bit bigger. It's definitely vertically challenged, isn't it, really? I don't know that I could crawl in no matter how. Yeah, literally that should be up to that first black line like the others. Or ish. Yeah, this is bigger too, so that even that's not... Yeah, it is true. I will do that just before I go. So all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Sorry for waffling on a bit too much about modding. Yeah, you get excited and you sort of like puther out without sort of thinking about, well, people aren't really going to be interested in that, I'm sure. Although you can obviously correct me if you are interested. Then, yeah, what one person is interested in, another one isn't. So it's one of those things. But yeah, so all that remains to be said is goodbye for now.